Hi everyone, Dr. Richard Tran here from Color Chiropractic in Bellingham, Washington. I'm pleased to be able to present this material today. I know it's going to be a little lengthy, but I hope that it has value for you. At our office in February, we're actually doing this theme called Healthy Heart, Happy Heart. And throughout the month, we're actually presenting different types of strategies that you can use to be able to create more health in your life. I mean, around this time of the COVID pandemic, what we feel at Color Chiropractic is we need to be able to help ourselves to become healthier so that we can fight off any disease that's out there, okay? So these different strategies that we're presenting to you, you can look up on our website. We're going to talk more specifically about things like using a heart rate monitor to be able to optimize your health. Now, one of the big things is, with things like COVID, is we know that it has an ability to impact our lungs, but we also know that it can create some serious problems when there are circulatory issues in your body. And what we want to do is, by using a heart rate monitor, not only can you increase circulation, but you can also be able to create more antioxidants in your body. You can also program your body to burn more fat instead of sugar. So learning how to use a heart rate monitor properly will actually help you to be well on your way to creating health in your life should you ever get disease or you just want to live as optimal as possible. So here's some different things. You can always check out the blog on our website about how to use a heart rate monitor. But here it is, and I'm going to go a little bit further into it, okay? So for years, we've been relying a lot on Dr. Phil Maffetone. He works with a bunch of different triathletes, a lot of world-class athletes, and he really has his finger on the pulse in terms of using a heart rate monitor properly to create health. And so if you get a heart rate monitor, and I have one at home that has a watch and a chest strap to it, you may have your Fitbit watches or whatever. The whole thing is you don't want to be like holding your hand while you're actually running. But if you take his 180 formula, this is how you do it. You take 180 and then you minus your age, and then you plus or minus according to some different factors. Now, my age is 45, okay? And so, 180 minus 45 would give you, 135. Hopefully my math is okay. But you can plus or minus in accordance with different types of factors. I really like this monitor or this way of thinking, because it takes your physiology into account versus something like a 220 formula, okay? So you want to plus or minus according to these different factors. If you are like ill, or you're relying on a pill, or if you're more overtraining, then you'll probably want to minus 10 from that number. Okay, that's not me. If you were more injured, or you're regressing in your training, or you have asthma or allergies, that's a reason to minus 5. Okay, and that's not me either. Now, you want to minus 0 if you're kind of like me, where you've been training for over 2 years, you haven't really sustained any injuries, but you're not necessarily really competitive. So I put mine at 0, so I'd be at 135, okay? And if you were competitive and you were training for 2 years, then you want a plus 5. So for me, 135 is a really good range, and that's what's called the maximum aerobic function, okay? And if you really want to program your body to optimize fat burning, you should be within 10 beats of this number. So if 135 is my number, then 125 to 135 is really the optimal range for me to know that I'm building this aerobic base, that there I'm actually in the best position to burn fat. And that's what I want my metabolism to be there, versus going over that accessing my adrenals, overtraining, and leading up to injury and illness. Okay, so 125 to 135 is really good. Now, if you take it a step further, and you can read this in the blog, they talk about a thing called a MAF test. That's called a maximum aerobic function test. And the beauty of this is that you can use your own body as a way to gather whether you're moving along the right track or not. You see, if I stayed in this range of 125 to 135, I might not, I can gauge how long it would take me to run 1 mile, 2 miles, and 3 miles, and I can judge how long it will take me to do that from month to month. If I were like this person in this example here that Dr. Maffetone points out, I'm actually staying at the same heart rate while actually decreasing the amount of time that it takes me to run that mile. So in that sense, my body's getting healthier, even though I'm at the same heart rate. Okay? That's the beauty of it, is that you use your own body as this way of measuring health. Okay? And the thing is that what if it were to go different ways? Okay? Let's say that you're kind of on that cusp, like, should I actually increase my range? Should I, go to that more like that +5 range? Am I, in a sense, doing pretty well? Well, if you're decreasing from one time to another, you might want to challenge yourself and then see if these numbers start to change. Naturally, it'll take less time for you to run that mile, but from mile 1 to mile 2 to mile 3, you want to make sure that you're still decreasing the amount of time it takes you to run that mile from time to time. If you're not decreasing that time, that means that you're probably going into more anaerobic, and you should slow down. Okay? There may also be times that, let's say that you're a little bit sick, right, and ill, and that might hinder your progress as well too. So you'll be able to see from this type of formula when there are times when you should decrease, when you should push yourself, and when you're on the right track. Okay, so I'm more than happy, Dr. Sue and I were more than happy to be able to help you figure some of these things out for yourself. We do some specialized testing in the office, but hopefully these types of strategies will help you to create health so that you can be able to fight off disease, developing part of that good defense by working on your offense. Thanks for listening.